So again, welcome to tonight's webinar where we will be chatting with the IT Masters team, I should say rather, about how to get your Masters faster. Tonight we'll be joined by Nikita Ellis, our course advisor at IT Masters, and also Anna Lee, our eligibility officer. So without further ado, I will hand it over to them and they can take it away.
Thanks, Kit. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for coming along to our webinar tonight. So tonight we'll be discussing a little bit about who we are, what we do, and how our Commonwealth Supported Places graduate certificates courses can sort of benefit you in your journey towards a master's in a more cost-efficient way. So here we've got our courses here, these graduate certificate in cybersecurity, cloud computing and virtualization, networking and systems administration, and our computing career transition grad cert as well. These 4 grad certs that we offer are eligible for our Commonwealth Supported Places, which is that, around 71% discount on the course costs. On top of that, we also have courses in project management, applied digital marketing, business administration, computing with specializations as well. So with all of these specializations minus the computing career transition course, these all feed into our master courses as well. So the nature of these courses are half academic and half industry. So 50% of the course is your CSU subjects, which are more academic in nature, and then the other 50% is your IT master subjects, which are more industry-led and focused.
So your journey to a master's. So how to get there? So there are different pathways to meet eligibility into our postgraduate programs. So you may or may have not done an undergraduate degree or TAFE qualifications, and that's okay as well. So obviously, if you have completed a bachelor's or a postgraduate degree in any field, then you can apply into one of our graduate certificates or master's degree. If you don't have any of these university qualifications already, it's also possible to come through via relevant work experience. And I would say the majority of the people that I've spoken to have entered through this pathway and articulate to the masters if that's their plan. The grad certificate has 4 subjects. So if you start there and if you wish to move to the masters, these 4 subjects will carry forward. The benefit of starting with a grad certificate is the savings you'll receive from the CSP subsidy. So to be eligible for the CSP funding, you'll either need to be an Australian or New Zealand citizen or permanent residents whilst residing in Australia and studying online for our upcoming intake, which commences on the 26th of August. We'll have a little chat about the CSP grad certificates and what that entails. So at the moment, the government is subsidising part of the tuition fees, which saves about 71% off your course fees. If you have been thinking about studying for some time, now is a great opportunity to take advantage of the subsidised courses and kickstart the studies. You'll also receive a 10% alumni discount if you decide to take the masters afterwards as well. So if you have some previous university studies, you can also shorten your studies and save on a bit more if you have completed postgraduate studies. So we can assess your prior studies, and to be eligible for credits, your prior studies will need to have an 80% content match with CSU's subjects to be considered. So if you're in this boat and have questions, feel free to reach out to me directly and I can take a look at your prior studies and have this personally assessed for you as well.
Thanks, Anna. So we also have partnership with the Australian Computer Society, ACS. So in terms of any sort of previous work experience that you might be looking to have assessed for the purposes of credit, this would normally go through ACS. In the case where you're approved for either a certified technologist level or a professional level with them that will align with credit that feeds back into our courses. So the technologist level credits to one industry elective subject towards a graduate certificate or master course with us, whereas the professional level certification aligns to 2 subject credits towards a grad cert or master's with us as well. So if that's something that you've already done or looking at doing, it might be worthwhile checking out, because it does make quite a dramatic effect in terms of study time and costs and savings through receiving credits for that industry experience feeding back into the course that you're studying with us.
That's right. Thanks, Vicky. Okay, so you may have seen some of these vendors on the screen. So we've got here CompTIA, Cisco, EC Council, and especially if you've been working within the IT industry for quite some time, you may come across these certifications as part of your job, or you've secured these certifications through these vendors, or you may be looking at attaining these certifications. You may be exempt from studying an additional subject where you'll get acknowledged for credit. So we've assessed over 2,000 individual assessments in the last year, and you're more than welcome to check them out on our website. If there's any that's not listed there, or you have any questions and would like for us to help look through your certifications or plan certifications, feel free to reach out and complete the eligibility form. We can get back to you and have this formally assessed on an individual case-by-case scenario as well. So of course, not all certifications will qualify, and there are a number of certifications that are considered below postgraduate levels, as they simply don't cover enough to our subjects to be eligible. We're quite proud of the credit finder on our website, and we've popped all the approved industry certifications that have been assessed and approved by CSU on there. So we hope you find it useful. So part of my job is to update and recertify each of these to ensure they meet the same standards and have the same relevance to some of our subjects. And of course, sometimes our subjects do change, so we update that accordingly as well. I'll hand this over to you.
Thanks, Anna. Okay, so here we have a bit of an example to give you sort of the dollar value of how you could plan the most cost-effective way to get to your future master's course. So this pathway is basically a pathway that consists of doing 2 graduate certificates and then a master's articulation. So in this example, it is dependent on when Commonwealth Supported Places are available. So let's just keep that in mind. But essentially, if you were to do, in the first example, a graduate certificate in cybersecurity, and then let's say after that, or concurrently do a grad cert in cloud computing and virtualization through strategic subject planning, where you choose electives in both graduate certificates that ultimately feed back into your preferred masters, whether it be in cyber or cloud computing. Through the Commonwealth Supported Place pathway, it would give you the outcome of what you're looking at here in terms of cost savings. So with the CSP discount, it's around 1,116 per subject. And then basically that gives you a total of 4,464, as you can sort of see there. And then if you go on to the masters at that point, you're able to feed 8 CSP price subject credits towards the masters of your choice in that specialisation. And then that leaves you with only 4 full fee paying subjects in the masters at the end of that pathway. So basically the savings that this pathway offers you is what you see there, 22,192 instead of the full fee without the CSP option, which is 46,680. So quite a significant difference there. So if you are able to do this pathway, again, dependent on when CSP is available, like it is now. So there are always limited spaces with CSP, but there are spaces available for our upcoming August 26th session. So it's a perfect opportunity to get started in a graduate certificate. We can sort of start this pathway to be able to take advantage of those savings. So in this example, you're looking at cybersecurity and cloud computing. And then I think we've got another example after this one. So this is a second example. So in terms of fees, it's the same cost, same savings, but just in case you might be looking at something different, like doing a grad cert in computing career transition, for example, and then maybe pairing that with networking and systems admin, just depending on what your specialization is of choice. So again, same thing, the fees and in terms of the savings there as well.
Thanks, Nikki. Okay, so fees and funding options. So there are a few options when it comes to fees and fundings for CSP subsidized courses. So you have the option to either pay your tuition fees upfront, and that is usually invoiced by the session and by the number of subjects that you're enrolled in for that particular session. If you're not looking to pay upfront, you have the option to choose to defer your loan through HEX Help. So HEX Helps is only available for anyone that is an Australian citizen and is looking at deferring their fees through to the CSP funding there. HEX Help is only available for Australian citizens. Another option through HEX Help is to split your payments and pay part upfront and defer the rest. So keep in mind that your credits can be applied at any point during your studies as well. And I just would like to stress the importance to contact either Nikki or myself so we can help plan your credits to ensure you're not studying a subject that you'll be receiving credits for as well.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, so a couple of benefits of starting in our term that's coming up, as I said before, on the 26th of August. So while this is a term, which means it's the smallest session in the year, the benefits of starting your learning experience here is that the classes will naturally be smaller, being a smaller term. So it will offer you the opportunity to have more of an intimate learning environment, more of that sort of one-to-one relationship with your lecturers as well. So we also have a subject previously that was not available in this term that now is. So that's ITE 534. So that's a cybersecurity subject that will allow you more options and more, choices in terms of whether you're doing cyber, cloud, career transition as well. And project management and business administration courses there too. And also just commencing your course earlier to sort of get a head start on the study load for future sessions in the year as well, and start planning strategically for how your study load is going to look towards the end of the year, as well as planning for early next year too. So we've got some more information here and some more links about Commonwealth Supported Places, and here as well. If you, as Anna said before, if you would like to submit an eligibility form, eligibility inquiry, you can do so just by clicking on that link there or using that link for any inquiries about credit, as well as if you're eligible, etc. Alternatively, please feel free to call us on the numbers listed below here as well, Anna or myself, with any direct questions that you have. We will directly assist you in setting up any study plans, in particular around if you are interested in doing sort of that 2 graduate certificate pathway to the masters under the CSP pathway. And we can have those discussions around those topics as well. So please reach out. The mapping and the pathway planning is something that we do as a one-to-one service to each and every one of our students, and it's quite a common thing that we do. So please reach out. Don't feel as though you need to do that alone. And yeah, let us know if you have any questions.
Hi there. Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute. Okay, well, that is the end of our presentation slides. We've got a few Q&A questions that we will now move on to. Feel free to keep putting them in the chat if anything has come up during this presentation that has made you curious for more information. The Q&A is still open, so we will be getting to all of them tonight, hopefully. So first one, we've got a question here that is, do you have master's and doctorate programs in cybersecurity for international students? Nikki, I might hand this one over to you.
Thanks, Kit. So we definitely have master programs for international students. So you could definitely reach out to us and we can provide you with more information on that, as well as the PhD doctorate program as well.
I think there is a further update on the doctorate program. So we used to offer a doctorate program, but at the moment we don't offer a doctorate program. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
I think they've, yeah.
All right, no worries. Let's move on to the next question. So after completing 4 subjects in cybersecurity grad cert, if I want to continue to masters, what is the maximum credits I can get? What is the minimum number of subjects that I have to do for a master's? So this is someone doing a grad cert to masters, so an articulation, and they do those 4 subjects, and maybe they have other credits they'd like to apply. What is the rules around that? Anna, would you like to take this one?
Yeah, sure. No worries, Kit. So the rules around that is, so with the masters, there is a total of 12 subjects. So it's broken down to, I think, 8 core subjects and 4 electives. So once you've completed the 4 subjects from your grad certificate, those four will carry across, which means you still have 8 more subjects to complete the course. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
So if you did those 4 subjects and you take them
Hmm,
into the masters, and for
hmm,
anyone that doesn't know, a whole masters is 12 subjects.
hmm.
So if you take those 4 subjects from the grad cert and you're starting the masters with 4 subjects completed, can you apply for any other credit if you have an industry certification? Is there a limit to the amount of credit you can complete, or
Yeah,
can you just keep claiming credit and just, walk out of a master's without having to study anything?
yeah. Great question, Kit. So you have a 50, we at CHC we have a 50% credit rule there. So 50% of the coursework can be used as credit. For example, if there's 12 subjects in the master's, you can use a maximum of 6 subject credits elsewhere, apart from your grad cert, the subjects that you studied from your grad cert in cybersecurity. So those 4 subjects won't count towards the threshold, the credit threshold. Um, you can attain credits elsewhere of the maximum of 6 subjects, as long as it fits within the course structure.
So if someone has done 4 subjects in the grad
Hmm.
cert and they've done them at that CSP rate, which is great,
Mm-hmm.
they're basically
Yeah.
getting 4 subjects for the price of 1, and then
Mm-hmm.
they've got only 8 more subjects to do in their masters.
Yeah.
And does that mean they can basically, if they have the industry certification, they could
That's
claim up to 6 subjects worth of credit and only have to study 2 subjects, complete those
correct.
2 subjects and walk away with a master's?
That is correct. As long as it all
So we're
fits
to,
within the structure, then we're sweet.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars saved on subject fees here. If you're leveraging the prior education you have through hard-earned industry certification certificates. I just said certificates twice, my apologies. That was a good question. Thank you for that one.
Hmm.
We have another one. It's a two-parter, so I'm going to ask them as 2 separate questions. So this one is a pretty good one. So I'll ask this one to you, Nikki. What does it mean for credit ITI 01C and ITI 01C? And the first one has an 8 in brackets and the second one has a 16 in brackets. Now, that pops up on the credit finder for a lot of the industry certification credits, but it doesn't correlate to a subject. So what do those subject codes mean?
Yeah, thanks, Kit. So with the ITI 01C, they are classified as unspecified industry elective subjects. So that means that they will come out of your Group B elective subject list. So when I say unspecified, it means that it's not specified to a specific subject code, as you can see with the second part of that question. The subjects have codes and names. So in this case, it would just be classified as a credit for a Group B subject, essentially. The 8 credit point is equivalent to 1 subject, and the 16 credit point is equivalent to 2 subjects. So if you have an industry certification that's eligible for ITI 01C through the credit finder under 16 credit points, that means that industry cert would credit to 2 Group B elective subjects, and the 8 would be just the 1. So that's what that means. And then in terms of the second part of the question, for 1 cert, is it these 3 specified subjects? Again, looking at which industry cert you've got, because we do have industry certifications that do credit to multiple subjects as well as specified subjects. So if that is the case in this situation, and that's what it says on the credit finder, then yes, it would credit to 3 subjects, but just keeping in mind with the credit rules that if you are starting with a graduate certificate, as Anna said, there is that 50% credit limit rule. So it's just a matter of, and again, we will help you with this, Anna will help you with this as well, in terms of strategically planning how best to use your credits, whether it be using 50% of the limit within a grad cert or saving that for the masters. And with a CSP grad cert, it isn't the most economical option to use your credits in the grad cert. It's best to save those for the master subjects. But again, directly reach out so we can have a chat about which certs you're referring to, and how best we can sort of course map for you to allow maximum credits as possible to give you the most savings out of the full fee subjects as well in your masters.
That is a very good answer. And what was I going to say? We often tell a lot of students, don't we, to save your industry certification credit for your masters, especially if you're studying a course that has a Commonwealth supported place, because once you get into the masters, that pricing structure does change. So if you do the grad cert to masters pathway, you are definitely taking advantage of the better pricing structure there. So thanks very much for that one. I think we can move on to the next question now. And that next question is, for the master's degree, besides credit for 2 grad certificates, can I get any benefit of industry experience? So I'm wondering if this means benefit of industry experience in the way of work experience, or if it means credit or etc. for industry experience. So we'll just focus on the latter because I'm not too sure. So Anna, can credit be awarded for industry experience? And if not, what can industry experience get you?
Yeah, so we would normally refer that through to ACS to do the credit assessments for work experience there. And then that would equate to either that technologist, which will give you 1 subject credit from your work experience, or the professional, depending on the ACS assessment there. So that's probably it.
As far as work experience, though, I can say that there is an opportunity to take one of our classes, which I can't remember the subject code off the top of my head, but it is an internship subject. So that is definitely on the table for people who are interested. Okie dokie, next question. Next question is, am I eligible for CSP if I'm under my partner's sponsorship visa? I'll pass this one to Nikki.
Thanks, Kit. So the only requirements to be CSP eligible is to be an Australian citizen or permanent resident and applying for a course that is CSP covered or eligible for within a session that is available and those spaces are available. So in this instance, I would say no, because if your visa doesn't meet permanent resident requirements or Australian citizenship requirements, then yeah, then unfortunately that would not be eligible for a Commonwealth supported place.
And also New Zealand citizenship as well, off the tail of that.
Ah, yes.
Yes. Can't forget the Kiwis. Thank you. Let's move on to the next question now. So it means minimum is 2 subjects if I get 6 credits after 4 subjects from grad cert. So I think this is just a follow-up of the question before. So yes, basically to clarify again, if you do 4 subjects in a grad cert and then articulate those across to the masters that matches up with that grad cert, then you still have 6 credits that you could claim. So with 6 credits and 4 subjects completed from the grad cert, if you are able to claim 6 credits, if you have been a very busy person who has been racking up the industry certification, then yes, you would only have 2 subjects left. There's only 12 subjects in a master's. So yeah, that's a great way to do it. Let's also not forget, and this is a great time to mention, that if you are somebody who has 1 or 2 industry certification credits that you have under your belt, if you are weighing up whether or not to get another industry certification done so you can claim another credit, don't forget that you can always do 3 of our free short courses and you will be able to claim another Group B credit. But in saying that, things can get really dicey because you need to fit all of these credits within the course structure. And that's where Nikki and Anna come in because they can give you that professional advice. They do course mapping for students every single day of the working week. They know this stuff inside out. So if you let them guide you, you will get the best advice possible for your course. Right, next question. I believe, Anna, it's your turn for a question.
Yep, get away.
All right, this is an interesting question. Can we study more than 4 subjects in a grad certificate?
Unfortunately, no, we can only study. There is a limit of 4 subjects under the grad cert. So if you wanted to study more than 4 subjects, you can, if CSP is still around as well, you're more than welcome to take advantage and study another grad cert utilizing the CSP funding, if that's an option as well.
So if someone was to do, say, 2 grad certs
Hmm.
using the CSP funding and basically getting 8 subjects for the price of 4,
Yeah,
is my math right there?
8
2 for the
subjects.
price of 2. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I've never been very good at math. My apologies, everyone. Yeah, so if someone was to do 2 grad certs at the CSP pricing,
Hmm.
when they go to articulate into masters, what does that look like? A GC to GC to masters?
Yeah, so they're able to use that because the 4 subjects studied under the grad cert, let's say not part of an articulated set, will count towards the credit limit of the 6 threshold there. And then the other 4 subjects studied part of the articulated set will will not contribute. So that means you have studied 8 subjects across 2 grad certs, meaning that you're only left with another 4 subjects to study under the master's degree. If that's the pathway that you want to take and make the most take advantage of the CSP funding as well. So if you do want to take advantage of that, definitely reach out so we can plan all your subjects to ensure they all fit within both grad certs because there's different course requirements for each grad certs to ensure that they all count towards once you articulate to the masters as well.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely something that you would benefit from having someone who works on it all day, every day to help from. I'm going to mark that one as done and we can move on to the next one. I did actually just want to mention too that we have a lot of students who are currently doing a GC to Masters for the entire time that we've had Commonwealth support available for these courses. We've had quite a few. I don't have a number off the top of my head, but I remember my time working with students doing course mapping when I was in a different team. And it's kind of fun doing course mapping, kind of not fun at times, but yeah, it's really great to see people getting to the finish line, graduating, walking away with a master's, having done 2 grad certs. So by the end of their time with us, they end up with 3 different degrees. So that's pretty cool. So let's move on to the next question. Is pardon me, sorry. Is IT Masters part of CSU? Nikki, this one I'm going to throw to you, but I just want to add a little follow-up question on there. Is IT Masters part of CSU? And who processes the applications?
Yeah, so we're in IT Masters is in direct partnership with CSU. So in terms of the application processing, when students apply for the blended IT Masters / CSU courses, which are just specific to these niche handful of postgraduate IT courses, the applications are then handed over to us at IT Masters, and we process that. So we look after the student relationship from the onset for the application stages, enrollment through to graduation.
Yeah, we're very hands-on. So when it comes to the IT Masters subjects, you'll be talking to our very small session support team, and they get a lot of work done, and they are very helpful, always on hand to help with students, whether it's stuff to do with assignments, extensions, leaves of absence, getting help from different departments at CSU even. You can always call us up, and you'll always be able to talk to the same person if you wish, over and over again throughout the lifetime of your course. So pretty handy way to approach university life. I'd also like to mention too, as we're in partnership with CSU, and we have been for over 20 years now, when you finish one of our courses, you become a CSU alumni. When you become an alumni, you become eligible for a 10% alumni discount on any future courses studied. So if you want to, I don't know, have a change of career, one day you decide, I'm going to change from IT and going to go study something else at CSU, and they do a course on wine agriculture or something like that. So if you wanted to go do that at Charles Sturt University, you could do that for 10% off. Just a funny little tidbit there. If someone wants to do the GC to Masters that we keep talking about, do they get an alumni discount when they graduate the grad cert and then move on to the Masters?
Yes, so the alumni discount only applies to full fee courses, not CSP courses. If you decide hypothetically to study grad cert, CSP, and move to another grad cert in CSP, it won't be applicable. It only is applicable to any full fee courses there.
Okay, that makes sense. So if you do your grad cert and you get the savings for the Commonwealth Supported Place there, you at least when you move into your Masters, you can get that 10% discount. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got another question here. I forget whose turn it is. Is it your turn, Nikki?
Yeah, it's mine. Yeah.
Yeah, alrighty. So thank you for that. Next question is there an executive master's for people who have already completed bachelor's from overseas and with adequate work experience and industry certs like CISP, CISA, CISM, etc.? If yes, what's the duration and fee?
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of what we do in partnership with Charles Sturt University, we have our handful of specializations within our master courses in that regard. So if you've done, sorry to clarify, that's in cybersecurity, networking, the MBA, project management, and cloud computing and virtualization. So those are the specializations. So in terms of a bachelor's degree completed from overseas, in terms of eligibility, basically what happens is if you've done a degree from overseas, upon application, the university will do their internal checks just to make sure that the overseas degree meets the same level of equivalency to an Australian bachelor's degree or higher level of study for eligibility criteria. And that's quite a quick, simple process, but only takes place upon application. So that sort of covers eligibility from that sort of perspective. But in terms of industry certs that you've mentioned here, CIS, CISA, CISM, they all three of those certs definitely offer credits towards our graduate certificates and master courses. So in terms of in this case, it would be best to submit a direct eligibility inquiry to Anna, where she'll be able to sort of directly tell you, these are the credits you're going to get, or even myself, whatever's easier. These are the credits you'll get for these certifications. And then once we're able to give you that information, we'll also be able to tell you the how that will impact the study time and the fees. So yeah, there's quite a few credits available for the certs that you've mentioned here. I believe, Anna, CISP is 3 subject credits, is it? Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
CISP is 3, CISA is 1, and CISM is another 1. So total of 5 there.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just about, I guess, strategically planning those credits to feed them in the most cost-effective way towards the pathway that you're looking at doing, and sort of which specialization you're looking at as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And for everyone that's interested, I have just dropped the link for the eligibility form into the chat there. So just to explain, the eligibility form, it's not like a regular web form where you just put in your name and contact details. It's a little bit more than that. So with this form, you can actually give Anna a head start on your assessment by providing information on your industry certifications, your work experience, your prior studies, and other things like citizenship that helps Anna determine what you're eligible for. So it's a great way to get a head start and gives Anna a really good idea of what your position is. So it is a great form. Anna does a lot of assessments every single week, as I'm sure she could confirm.
Yes.
And speaking of, I've got another question for you, Anna. So I've got two like this. So this question is, can we choose to study master degree courses on campus instead of instead of online for the same fee as online?
I don't believe we offer the same course online. On campus. I think all of our courses are all online, unfortunately.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
So for some people that might be a con, for others a huge pro. For
Hmm.
people who don't really enjoy going onto campus or don't have time to go on campus, all of our courses are completely online. They're
Hmm.
generally in the evening. This has been set up this way because we are a completely postgraduate organization. A lot of people who do come and study with us, they've got a lot going on in their lives, whether they work full time, they've got family commitments, etc., hobbies as well. You can always just do the course online in the evening at home. And if you don't have time in the evening to watch the webinars, they are completely recorded every single time and they are accessible the next day through the online learning platform. So it's a really flexible way to do your studies and approach it.
Hmm.
We understand that taking on studies is a huge thing, and that's part of the thing that we do here at IT Masters, trying to support all of our students to do this very, very difficult thing that is very worth it if you have the right support behind you. So that is something we all really believe in. All right, let's see if we've got any more questions. Here is a good one. If I sign up to study but have to go overseas or anything like that, or if I have to stop my studies, does that make me ineligible for CSP? Nikki, I'll throw this one over to you.
Yep, thanks, Kit. So in terms of CSP, as long as you successfully complete, and I'll get Anna just to check this one for me, but I'm pretty certain as long as you successfully complete your first subject in a CSP eligible session successfully, you've then, upon successful completion of that subject, secured CSP for the remaining subjects of your graduate certificate after that, as long as you're continuously studying.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then if you do decide that you need to defer for whatever reason, pause your studies, as long as you do that before the census date of the following session after completing your first subject, you're more than welcome to do that. And I think you have up to 4 pauses that you can use throughout the duration of your studies as well for that particular course.
I've got a question on this one, just
Hmm.
as I think it feeds into this one. So say you've you've decided to enroll in one of our IT Masters courses
Hmm.
for, for the same reason anyone does a postgraduate course to further your opportunities, and you've done your first subject, but you've just been given the opportunity to go live or go work overseas. Can you
Hmm.
complete your course from overseas?
Yeah, so as long as you're an Australian citizen, you're able to do that. You'll still be able to lock in your CSP whilst studying overseas, as long as you've completed one session while residing in Australia online, if that makes sense. If you are a New Zealand or permanent resident, fortunately, you do need to be in Australia studying online for CSP to lock in and secure your CSP spots there.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I guess for the Australian citizens interested in studying CSP, if you also want to go live overseas, you may do that as well and still get your CSP course rates. That's
Hmm.
very cool.
Yeah.
So bear with me here. Oh, here's a good one. I have not studied in a very long time. Will I be okay? And are there ways I can prepare for a postgraduate course prior to starting?
Oh, yeah. I can take this as well. So if you haven't studied for quite some time, as some of our students do, I think some of our students have never studied as well. So I would recommend starting with some of our short courses as well to prep you up. We can send that through depending on, I think we have a list of those short courses, don't we, Kit, that we could
Yep.
share to everyone else. It's a really good way to prep yourself and ease into studying and get an idea of what it will look like as well studying with us.
Yeah, and also for people who haven't done any academic writing in a really long time, CSU offers great resources on how to do that, whether it's a workshop, a tutorial, or they even have a handy website that helps you when it comes to doing academic referencing. So, and also with academic writing styles as well. That, I believe, was our final question for the evening. I think we will begin to wrap it up here. I would like to say, on the back of that free short courses question, we do have a short course running at the moment on big data. It's being run by one of our mentors, Matt Constable, who runs our foundational subject, ITI 581 Cybersecurity Fundamentals, and a few other courses that I can't remember off the top of my head. But that is a great course if you're interested. It's not too late to sign up. It's week 3 this week, but the other webinars are available. And if you'd like to know about any of our other upcoming short courses on our website, through the link that I have just shared, you will be able to subscribe. I can't share what it is right now, but we have a very exciting short course coming up. Yeah, wish I could say more, but I can't. So keep an eye out for that announcement. But other than that, as I mentioned earlier in tonight's webinar, we have just under 2 weeks left for applications for the upcoming term 3.
Hmm.
And that term starts on August 26th. So I will hand it over to Nikki and Anna now. What do you think people need to know between now and then?
So now and then, I think the subjects that's running in our August intake is the cybersecurity fundamentals as well as the cyber warfare and terrorism. We also have, I think, contemporary management, which is an MBA subject, as well as project fundamentals if you were interested. So those are our 4 subjects running. The last date to apply, I think, is the Friday before the 26th of August. Um, I think that's it. Is there anything you'd like to add as well, Nikki? Anything I missed?
Oh, no, thanks, Anna. I think that's everything. Awesome.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time, Anna and Nikki, and for joining me here on tonight's webinar. And thank you to everyone that's attended today. We've really appreciated your time this evening. As we have mentioned, if you have any questions at all, if you need any help with planning your course, or even just advice about study and student life for those who haven't studied in a very long time, or if ever, please get in contact with us. This is what we do, and I think we're pretty good at it. We've had a lot of practice. Yeah, we're quite dedicated. So feel free to reach out to us via telephone or by using the contact us page. There is a form on that page on our website. So yeah, if anything you need, we are here to help you. All right, good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank